Stopping bonus abuse and fraud without killing UX. AI plus KYC partnerships that scale.
Hello, everyone. Oh, pretty loud. Thank you, Tim and Alfredo, for joining us today. Let's do a short round of introduction before we get to our topic, stopping bonus abuse and fraud without killing user experience. AI plus KYC partnerships that scale. Really long one. Okay, so my name is Eugene Ravden. I'm head of PR at SEO Brothers. We're a full-cycle SEO agency. But I also hail from the journalistic and media background. This is something that I used to be doing for almost 20 years. And this is something that I'm doing again here on the stage. I'm sorry for my voice. It sometimes goes up and down because I felt really sick yesterday, but I hope this won't diminish the quality of our conversation. Guys, would you please introduce yourself?
Yep, of course. So I'm Tim French. I'm the commercial manager for Greco. We specialize in identifying bonus abuse by real-time gameplay detection.
Thank you. Alfredo.
Good afternoon to everyone. I'm Alfredo Lori from Kiope Risk Management, and I'm appointed for the development of anti-money laundering services.
Okay, without further ado, let's get to the point. So, from my perspective, bonus abuse is something that just users or players or bettors trying to exploit promotional offers. Not a big deal if you ask me. But yeah, just if you look at this from a commoner point of view. But then AML comes into play. You might think that bonus abuse is here and AML is somewhere here. But can you please explain what's the connection, what's the relation between these two, and how such a heavy, important, and big thing as AML comes into play to fight bonus fraud?
Okay, so since my company specialized in countering the financial crime and economic crime, we are not directly interested by bonus abuse. And when bonus abuse is something occasional done by single individual, it has an impact on the company and a bigger impact. So organized crime can use the bonus abuse systematically to impact the licensed operator. And in this case, when bonus abuse has the form of something very structured, very organized, so here the anti-money laundering procedure, tools and information can come into support in preventing the access to possible organized fraudster.
Thank you. Tim, would you have anything to add here from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, they're two very, very different things. Like bonus abuse isn't directly attributed to AML. However, like Alfredo says, if you're a very educated criminal organization, you can use bonus abuse to clean your money. You can clean it very, very efficiently. So there are crossovers within it, absolutely.
Okay, so as far as I understand, we're not speaking about single cases of bonus abuse, but something big scale, yeah, that can be used to launder big amounts of money. Am I right?
From my side, I think actually you would do it on a smaller scale to stay under the radar. You'd have many, many people doing this. If you're going to start doing this on a very, very large scale, the operator or guys like Alfredo are going to discover this fairly quickly. So the strategy that an organized crime group would probably place is having lots and lots of individuals doing this, cleaning small amounts at a time through bonus offers, through welcome offers, just maximizing the amount of value that they can take from those offers.
I see. Alfredo.
Okay, so from our point of view, the systematical bonus abuse can be stopped as well thanks to some verification that the company can done at the moment of the onboarding. So basically there are elements like email address that is used for the onboarding, element like the mobile phone number that are usually requested from the licensed operator to start playing even with free bonus. And in this onboarding, this data can be used to effectively stop those subjects that are professional and known fraudster. So basically there are information and the tools from anti-money laundering that can be applied in the onboarding, at the onboarding moment that can limitate basically what is the possibility to onboard professional and organized fraudster. Later, if you agree, I can go down on some of these elements.
Okay, can we get into more details? Can you please give me a practical examples of how AML data intelligence is used to counter fraud and bonus abuse?
So we will start from two very simple data, the email address and the mobile phone number. These are elements that when they have an history show a lower risk of fraud because are effectively used since time by real person. And this is at the moment of the onboarding. While when the subject, the player is contractualized and start playing effectively, this we can verify some risk related to this subject. First of all, the geographical residence, because in Italy we have a classification of risk for each province, because to each province of Italy there is a related risk of organized crime in that province, in that town, and of course in that region. So this is one perspective that can help the gaming company to profile the possible risk. Other elements, of course, are related to the experience that a player have in other company, not a gaming company, but maybe its own company that can show some number or some anomalies that track them to organized crime. So basically the connection between the subject and the other subject, as well individuals, as well other companies. And in Italy we have a wide database and wide possibility to access as well to the crimes that are searched on the OSINT, on the open source. And these elements are usually verified in the onboarding moment for anti-money laundering purposes mainly, but can be useful, can be read to detect the possible presence of fraudster.
Okay, let's say an individual comes to register for an online casino and he enters an email with short history and a mobile phone with short history. What happens next? Does he get on some sort of blacklist? Is he refused to play?
Yes, of course. Each element provide a risk classification. Some of these risks are simply potential and can be used or not. Other risks are more effective and have an effective weight. Let's suppose a subject is going to onboard himself and the company find out that this subject is related to a crime event that happened in the city where he is living. So this will give the company, the gaming company, a punctual view on a very high risk element, so that since the beginning the subject can be blocked and he will not start to play even with a high sum after having used the bonus.
But is there a risk to block a perfectly proper and legit player? Okay, he just created an email. He just bought a new mobile number. So how do you tell whether this one is a potential fraudster and this one is just some young guy that has created an email yesterday.
If I take this one, like, I think this is where people need to look at risk and fraud as like a whole holistic piece, because the reality is, like, everything that we're talking about there, they're risk indications. Like, unless there's clear-cut data that it's a stolen account, it's stolen personal details that were leaked within a data breach, something like that, you can't just block somebody because they've got a young email address or something. It's absolutely ludicrous to do that. Like, you could be preventing very, very genuine players from actually being able to even gamble with your site based on a risk indicator. This is actually where we come in completely. Like, it's everything after that. The one bit, what bonus abuse actually is, it's not, bonus abuse isn't multi-accounting. It's a way to be able to bonus abuse. Like, the bit that is bonus abuse is the gameplay. So the mathematical value of how you take advantage of a bonus. How can I take the mathematical edge from the value that an operator has given me and turn that into hard cash money? That is what bonus abuse is. And that's the final sort of definer of going, yes, this is somebody that is trying to cheat us or is playing against our terms and conditions, versus this is a person that they look a little bit suspicious, but until they start playing, you don't know what their intention is.
Okay, so we've talked about how AML data and registration data can be used to detect fraudsters. But when we were preparing for the panel, you mentioned one very interesting thing, is that gameplay can be used to identify bonus abuse in real time. Please tell us how this works. Some betting or playing patterns?
Of course. So like I said, bonus abuse is a way to use your bonus funds by figuring out what the mathematical edge is and taking advantage of the content that an operator actually has. What game mechanics are in place? Are there games with progression features? Are there like higher RTP rounds that you're going to hit? All of this comes into it, and you can basically use the mechanics to instead have a 30x wagering, you're having a 1x wagering and guaranteeing that your next spin or 2 spins is going to be a winning spin. And unless you're looking at the gameplay, you can never identify that. It's purely in the gameplay part where you can figure out if somebody has or hasn't done that. And that is the bonus abuse part. This comes into like the sort of advantage play side of things as well, where people are playing perfectly within the terms and conditions. And to an operator, it looks like it's a positive GGR player. Like, they are giving money to us, so I'm going to keep on bonusing them. But they're playing to the mathematical edges that over time you're going to get to a point of profit. If the operator's blocked that player when it's got to the point of profit, it's too late. They've already achieved exactly what they wanted to achieve. So by being able to understand if somebody's playing within that set strategy, again, you're not necessarily going to say this is a bonus abuser. But if it's repeated patterns of play, you can change how you incentivize that player to keep playing with you. Give them lower value offers. Make sure that they don't have the opportunity to take that value from the casino.
Okay, and another thing, another method, another tool to fight this that you mentioned is advanced device tracking and behavior analysis to spot fake IDs and account farms, even before the user made the first deposit. Please take us a little bit deeper here.
Again, it's an interesting one for me because all of that is a risk indicator. It's still not going to tell you whether somebody's a bonus abuser or not, because there's so many people use VPNs now. If you're going to block every single person that uses a VPN, you're going to block half your players.
Indeed.
There's certain countries that have shared IP addresses as well. Like Bangladesh, there's certain towns that have a complete shared IP address, and you might have 1,000 people on the same IP. It's still vitally important because you might be able to make some correlations. You might be able to have an idea of like where you might put in thresholds on the gameplay analysis of maybe actually I'm going to intervene earlier if there's a lot of similarities. But the fundamentals of it is device fingerprinting, IP matching, stuff like that. It's still not going to tell you whether somebody is a bonus abuser or not.
Okay, would you have to add something, Alfredo? No?
Okay, so I strongly agree with Tim about the behavioral analytics because this is the key for us as well to effectively verify real crime that happens by laundering money. So the anti-money laundering, that is a second step, of course, in this process, is done even thanks to the behavioral analytic. And in Italy, we have a very specific detail about this that came from authority, are called indicatori settoriali di anomalia. So basically the specific anomalies of that kind of business, and we see licensed operator in Italy developing their whole risk metric even for specific game that can allow a specific behavior, and then the need to track this specific behavior and to prevent them with regard to economic crime as well, basically. And to do this, the technology, of course, is very important, and an effective technology empowers as well the ability of the licensed operator to onboard more and more clients that we know often want a very simple and friendly experience. So technology will help is helping all us in facilitating the onboarding and the risk detection.
There's obviously a fine line between doing all the proper checks and not giving any advantage to the individuals who want to exploit this advantage, and not making user experience any worse for the proper player. How to find that balance?
I actually think this is, and again, obviously, I'm a massive advocate from the gameplay side of things, but I'm also not naive enough to think that's the only solution. And I think the perfect harmony is using the gameplay side to understand where the real risk is in terms of somebody trying to cheat you. And then you can use KYC tools and additional tools to intervene earlier, and then you create the friction for the player. You can have a fairly frictionless experience up until the point where you go, actually, you're trying to cheat us. You're playing in a way that doesn't quite look right. Now have automations to do a KYC check on that player instead of doing it to every single player that registers. It's going to streamline companies' efficiency massively. It's going to allow them to focus on the players that are actually at risk of taking money from them, and just create that better user experience for all your genuine players. Because that is one of the biggest sticking points, isn't it? Like, from how do you get somebody from a registration to a deposit to a withdrawal? Most people say that the worst experience that they've had with an operator is the length of time it takes to withdraw the money, because now everybody's getting KYC checks and all of the data is getting checked. You can intervene so much earlier, but with the specific players that you know are of danger to your operation.
So that it's not a mass destruction weapon, so to say.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. As far as I can understand, what we have been discussing here for now mostly relates to regulated markets, yeah? Where you can do proper AML and KYC. So what's the deal with unregulated markets, with gray markets? How can it work there? Can it work there at all?
Okay. So the countering of the financial and economic crime is not something that is just applicable to those regulated markets and to those subjects who are obliged to comply with a national anti-money laundering regulation. But anti-financial crime and the risk management procedure can help and should help as well those companies that operate in unregulated market, basically because the risk management processes can empower the compliance and the level of ethics and the ESG performance of the company, but can effectively defend the company from financial loss that have, of course, a higher relevancy in the whole frame of the question. So we have seen in Italy operators coming from unregulated market into a regulated market, and they had to apply, of course, risk management processes aligned with the law. And of course, on one side, they had to limit their business with a non-compliant subject, but they have improved overall their safety, and they have found in the regulated market a very good source of income.
Tim, can you add your perspective?
Yeah, again, like regulated to unregulated, there's so many different ways to look at it. I think unregulated has a massive taboo to it a lot of the time. Because like, oh, it's unregulated, it's Curacao, it's Anjuan, like, it's a bit shady or what have you. But there's so many companies that operate within these markets that are the most legit, well-organized companies that you'll come across. And they want to have these, like all of these practices in place because actually one of the biggest things with the unregulated side is trust. The gamer has to trust that they are playing on a safe platform, because if it gets out that actually they're not paying out, this is happening, that's happening, they're making it too sticky for us, like players will shift and quickly. So I think with an operator that's in the unregulated and can show that they're still doing all of these other things that are sort of stipulated within regulation that you have to do. It's like, we don't have to do this, but we are still doing this because our players, like longevity, safety, all of the rest is of the utmost importance to us. I think it's hugely important.
Okay, guys, we have just under 4 minutes left, and it's been my third panel I've been moderating here on Sigma, and every single one of them had AI in their title. So let's try to finish with the AI topic. What role does AI play in fighting bonus abuse?
Well, of course, I I was ready for this. Of course, this dominant theme of the EAI is becoming always more relevant for each company that provide software and technological solution. And of course, there is a very high commitment in my company, for example, in the testing the AI to improve a specific part of processes that can be improved with the AI. So the goal is to understand where and how to apply these AI technologies. We do this basically with the number. The number can be easily read by AI and transformed into something more comprehensible for the final user in the company, so that user in the company can understand better what is happening in their system, in their network. And this is one way we are following right now as a KOP in Italy.
Yeah, I think when AI is used properly within a tool, it can massively increase the efficiency and the productivity of the tool itself. But fundamentally as well, AI is only ever going to be as good as the data that goes into it. And you hear it so much of, this company has AI, that company has AI, but they're too heavily reliant on AI in certain cases. When it's done right, it's incredible. I'll flip it on the other side. The biggest risk of AI to the operators is that we're in a time right now of serious upskilling. It's very easy to learn how to be a bonus abuser right now. So like, you can go into ChatGPT to find out how to take value. And this always used to be like exclusive to bonus abuse forums or friends of friends telling you how to do it, or you're part of a syndicate group and you're all following a certain strategy. Now it's at everybody's fingertips. Everybody's becoming so much more skilled in terms of learning how you can bypass typical risk and fraud tools to what you do. So I think this is the thing, like, it's not just how AI can improve what we're doing, it's also being aware of what AI can also do to infiltrate the operator.
A quick fire question for both of you, and we're done. AI, friend or foe? For you.
Friend.
It is a friend, definitely. Every one of us use them, and this is the measure of success of a new technology.
Okay, I think that's it for us today. 35 seconds still left. Plenty of time for us to take a picture. Thanks a lot for your input. Thanks a lot for your time. Thanks a lot for sharing your experience.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to you all.
And thanks for listening and for the applause.
Wow, wow, wow. What a way to wrap up not only day 3, but the entire Sigma Central Rome on stage 2. People, partners, and performance, everybody. Thank you so much once again to our excellent moderator and panelists. Let's give them a round of applause. Well done. Well done. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we officially wrap up the people, partners, and performance stage here at Sigma Central Europe 2025. Over the past 3 days, we've explored leadership, mindset, branding, ethics, AI, reputation, performance, and so much more. There hasn't been a stone left unturned here at stage 2. But most importantly, we have celebrated the people who truly make the industry dynamic and resilient. To everyone who spoke on stage 2, supported, or joined us, thank you so much for being part of this incredible journey. The first Sigma conference in Rome. Enjoy your final evening at the Eternal City. I'm Maria Hammond. It has been an honor hosting this stage. Thank you. Thank you all so much and have a wonderful evening. Until next time.